If they have twins, she probably have two pops.
Time to separate the pros from the cons. The platinum from
Saturday, September 7th, 1996 was much like any other day in Tupac Shakur's life since he became an international star of music and movies. Cameras snapped his picture and video recorded his movements. He went. On that day, Tupac travelled to Las Vegas to watch the WBA Heavyweight Championship boxing match between Bruce Seldon and Mike Tyson. Later, he was scheduled to perform at Club 662, the music venue operated by Death Row Records boss Suge Knight. However, this day would be different because it would be Tupac's last day to enjoy the hectic but exciting lifestyle he had forged for himself before he was fatally shot, leaving him to spend the final 6 days of his life lying in a hospital bed before he sadly passed away from his injuries on Friday the 13th of September. The conspiracy theories that say Tupac somehow faked his own death and is living out his life in Cuba or South Africa or Navajo tribal land in New Mexico refuse to go away, despite testimonies to the contrary from numerous eyewitnesses and people close to Tupac, including his mother, who identified his body to the coroner, and a gruesome autopsy photo leaked and later published by reporter Kathy Scott. One of the explanations given for how Tupac could have accomplished this is that he was using a body double while he was in Las Vegas. By virtue of this, the conspiracy theorists reason it wasn't Tupac who was shot that night, but actually his body double, allowing Tupac to slip away unscathed and into anonymity. In my opinion, this theory is preposterous because it ignores all of the overwhelming evidence that it was indeed Tupac who was shot the night of September 7th. In this video, I'll look at the rather weak evidence the conspiracy theorists used to support this theory, then give you my explanation of what I think is really going on here. Let's get into it. The first photos of Tupac on September 7th are from early in the day, probably around lunchtime, when he and the rest of the Death Row entourage were making the 4-hour drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. The crew decided to stop for a hamburger at a branch of In-N-Out Burger in Barstow, a city in the Mojave Desert of Southern California, on the Interstate 15 route to Las Vegas. Tupac is pictured wearing his orange silk dress shirt and large gold euthanasia medallion that he would be photographed wearing later that day at the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino. His bodyguard, Frank Alexander, wears a white t-shirt and accompanies Pac in 2 of the photographs. They are pictured near the group's convoy of cars, including the black BMW 750 sedan that Suge would be driving with Tupac as passenger when they were shot. In the background, a sign can be seen bearing the name Factory Merchants of Barstow, confirming their location. This is an outlet mall that includes the branch of In-N-Out Burger, both of which are still there to this day. The photos are snapped either just as they are arriving at the restaurant or just as they are leaving. The rest of the photos and video we have from that day are taken after Tupac arrived in Las Vegas, from the early afternoon right up until minutes before the shooting, which occurred at 11:17 PM Pacific time. Tupac is pictured posing with a male fan and several female fans who seize the opportunity to snap a picture with the larger-than-life star. He is seen throwing dice at a busy craps table, apparently on a winning streak, as told by Frank Alexander in his book, Got Your Back. Tupac is pictured posing with what looks to be a 5-piece music group, and there are numerous pictures that capture Tupac in motion as he moved through the casino, enjoying the day. In some, he has a lit cigarette in between his fingers. In another, he throws up the iconic W hand sign for West Side. In all of them, his orange silk shirt is unbuttoned down to his solar plexus, revealing the edges of some of his tattoos and showing off his huge gold medallion, which glints in the bright lights. He is having fun, living in the moment, smiling, in high spirits, no doubt excited about a weekend of fun in Sin City, looking forward to seeing his friend Mike Tyson in action later that night, and afterwards performing some of the songs from his new Machiavelli album for the first time to adoring fans. In addition to these photos, there is brief footage of Tupac, accompanied by Frank Alexander, now wearing a black t-shirt, shot from 2 slightly different angles and filmed at 7:51 PM. We know this because of the timestamp on the camcorder used to record it. Basketball legend Irvin Magic Johnson appears first, and a few minutes later he is followed by Puck, who abruptly changes the direction he is walking in to take a less congested pathway, forcing bodyguard Frank to play catch up with him, something Tupac reportedly did often. The timestamp would place this footage as being taken just before the Tyson fight, and Puck and Frank were probably on their way to the arena. After the boxing match ended, there is footage filmed the moment Tupac and Frank emerged from the arena, now accompanied by Suge Knight. This video was filmed for an interview conducted by freelance journalist Cornell Wade for Black Entertainment Television and would be Tupac's final interview.
Everybody that go to jail come out, they got good luck.
It captures an ecstatic Tupac, overjoyed that his friend Tyson was triumphant in the ring. He screams in jubilation and excitedly asks the interviewer, "You'll see that? 50 punches, I counted them." Suge pulls Tupac away from the camera and Puck finishes the short interview by saying, "Everybody that go to jail, come out, they got good luck." This would be an extremely ironic statement considering what would happen to Puck just a few hours later. Tupac is hyped up, electric with energy. It was only moments after this footage was filmed that he attacked Orlando Anderson, and given how amped up Puck was, it's almost unsurprising that he sucker punched Anderson, inspired by Tyson's victory to throw some punches of his own. After Tupac and the Death Row entourage assaulted Orlando Anderson and made a quick exit from the MGM Grand, they went back to the Luxor hotel where they were staying, just a few minutes walk away. Tupac goes to his room to change clothes. Shortly afterwards, he poses for 2 pictures with fans at the Luxor, wearing a dark green Nike basketball jersey and his gold medallion. Not long after this, the very last video footage of Tupac is filmed, capturing him and Suge Knight standing in the valet area of the Luxor hotel, talking to groupies while they wait for their cars to arrive. This outfit Tupac is wearing, the dark green basketball jersey, is the same one he is pictured wearing in the final photo of him taken alive, sitting in the front passenger seat of Suge's BMW, approximately 20 minutes before the fatal shooting. So far, we've seen various photos and videos showing Tupac wearing 2 different outfits on September 7th. Now, let's look at 2 pieces of supposed evidence the conspiracy theorists used to argue Puck had a body double with him that day. I'll start with the weakest first. Let's take another look at the camcorder footage filmed at 7:51 PM. For a few seconds, we see a black man with a similar height and build to Tupac, with a bald head and wearing a similar outfit, standing very near to where Tupac passes by. After Tupac passed the man, Puck looks back and waves at someone before continuing on his way. Some conspiracy theorists suggest this man Tupac passes is his body double, and he is the person Tupac looks back at and waves to. The man does look like Puck in the few seconds we see him, however we only see him from the side and on grainy camcorder footage. Better resolution video might reveal the 2 men actually look very different. But there are big problems for this argument. The man appears to be wearing a red shirt, not an orange shirt that we know Tupac was wearing, so not an exact double. Secondly, the whole purpose of using a body double would be to deceive people into thinking the double was Tupac. So to have the 2 men in the same room as each other and actually interact with each other would defeat the point. And lastly, if this man was a body double, the act of Tupac swapping his dress shirt for a basketball jersey would compromise the plan of deceiving people, because Tupac would now be wearing a different outfit from the body double, making it easy for people to distinguish Tupac from his supposed lookalike. As for who Tupac was waving to, well, he was probably simply waving to a fan who had recognised him. Next, let's take another look at the photo of Puck shooting dice at the craps table. Behind him, we see a black man wearing a basketball jersey with a white trim, similar to the white trim on the jersey Tupac changed into at the Luxor. An alternative theory put forward by some conspiracy theorists is that this man is actually Tupac's body double, but this theory is no more convincing than the last one. Firstly, it is very difficult to see the man in much detail. We can't tell if his jersey is dark green or another colour. We also can't really tell if the man looks anything like Tupac at all. The only characteristic that we can see that they share in common is that they are both black. Next is a problem familiar to the last theory, that is, Tupac and his supposed body double being present in the same room together, standing so close, would ruin the deception and compromise the plan. Lastly, this alleged body double is supposedly wearing an outfit that Tupac would not change into until much later that night, meaning there were several hours where the two men were wearing different outfits. This would further compromise the plan because for a large part of the day, they were easily distinguished by their differing attire. Most likely, this was just a random member of the crowd who was coincidentally wearing a similar jersey to the one Puck would change into later. The evidence for the two conspiracy theories we've seen so far is very weak. So weak that I don't think either can be taken seriously. But there is a third theory which, on the face of it at least, does seem to have a bit more substance to it. I do think there is a rational explanation for this that can refute the conspiracy theory, but it takes a bit more explanation. Let's get into it. There are actually two more pictures of Tupac taken on September 7th that I haven't shown you yet. In these pictures, he wears a third outfit, different to the orange dress shirt and dark green basketball jersey we've already seen him in. In these two pictures, Tupac wears a white Peli Peli shirt with sand-coloured sleeves. We know these were taken on September 7th because the clearer image of the two has a digital timestamp on it with that date, and shows Tupac standing in front of one of the Egyptian murals that adorn the walls of the pyramid-shaped Luxor hotel where he was staying. The second photo is grainier, but provides a full shot of Tupac's upper body, showing the Peli Peli logo on his shirt and him holding the broken chain of his medallion. We know from Frank Alexander's account of the night's events in Got Your Back that Tupac's chain broke during the Orlando Anderson beatdown. We also see evidence of this in the MGM security camera footage taken of Tupac immediately after the beating. The video captures Tupac marching out of the hotel, no longer wearing his medallion. So these two photos place Tupac in the Luxor Hotel on September 7th, immediately after the Anderson beating. They must have been taken after Tupac had gone to his room to change out of his orange silk shirt, but before Frank had managed to fix the broken chain, as he tells us he did in his book. Curiously, in the next photo in the timeline, Tupac appears in the green basketball jersey, and a man standing behind Tupac on the right hand side of the picture is now wearing the white and sand coloured Peli Peli shirt. This man can also be seen in the last ever video footage recorded of Tupac in the valet area of the Luxor. The video shows Tupac and Suge Knight surrounded by groupies as they wait for the valets to arrive with their cars. While surveying the scene, the camera briefly pans to the right and the man in the Peli Peli shirt can be seen once again, this time standing on his own, almost as if keeping watch. We see from this footage he is a black man with a bald head with similar height and build to Tupac. Some conspiracy theorists say that this man is the proof that Tupac had a body double with him in Las Vegas. Aside from his similar physical appearance, there's a couple of things giving this theory a bit more substance than the first two we looked at. Firstly, the man seems to be wearing an identical shirt to the one Tupac was pictured wearing earlier, and quite a distinctive design too, with the large Peli Peli logo on the stomach and contrasting coloured sleeves. And secondly, Tupac seems to have worn the Peli Peli shirt for a curiously short amount of time before changing into the basketball jersey. Between going to his room to change from his orange dress shirt into the Peli Peli shirt, then changing once again into the basketball jersey, before heading to the Luxor's valet area, he must have only been wearing the Peli Peli shirt for a matter of minutes. Why bother changing into the Peli Peli shirt at all? Those who are conspiratorially minded might argue that this was a deliberate decision, with Tupac wearing the Peli Peli shirt for just long enough for people in the lobby area to see him wearing it, and for a few pictures to be snapped, before changing shirt again and leaving the body double wearing the Peli Peli shirt to confuse people into thinking that he was Tupac. However, there are serious flaws with this theory, some familiar from before and some new ones. Starting with the familiar flaws, it doesn't make any sense for Tupac and his supposed body double to be physically so close together, because this would ruin the subterfuge. Secondly, Tupac continued to be out there in public, being photographed and videoed wearing the basketball jersey. If he wanted people to think the last thing he was wearing was the Peli Peli shirt, then he'd done a poor job of this. Thirdly, the video footage is grainy, so even though the supposed double looks similar to Puck, better quality video might reveal he has a different appearance. There is also a rather logical, mundane explanation for why Tupac was wearing the Peli Peli shirt only for a very short time. That is, he decided it was too hot to wear it and changed into the cooler, sleeveless jersey. We can see in the better quality photograph of Puck wearing the Peli Peli shirt that there's a film of sweat on his face, neck and chest, revealing just how hot it was in the Las Vegas night. It's likely that Puck simply decided after putting on the long sleeve Peli Peli shirt that he was too hot and changed out of it. He might have also thought that once bodyguard Frank had fixed the chain, his gold medallion would stand out better against the dark green jersey. So Tupac changed shirts, or rather, took it off and gave it to one of his entourage to wear instead. My opinion is that he gave it to Castro, one of the three outlaws with Puck that night, the other two being Idi Amin and Gaddafi. If it is Castro wearing the Peli Peli shirt, this would account for the similar physical appearance. Castro is, after all, Tupac's blood cousin, has a similar height and build, and has a bald head. In the photo taken after Tupac has swapped the Peli Peli shirt, there's another man in the background who looks a lot like outlaw member Gaddafi. If it is Gaddafi, this is evidence the outlaws were close by when the photos were taken, increasing the likelihood that it was Castro wearing the Peli Peli shirt. And if it is Castro, this also poses another serious problem for the body double theory. That is, Tupac would not have used his beloved cousin as a decoy, a target for the gunfire of any would-be assassins out there. It's much more likely that Tupac simply decided the Peli Peli shirt was too hot to wear and gave it to Castro to wear instead. No body double, no mystery. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed watching me debunk the conspiracy theories about Tupac having a body double in Las Vegas on September 7th. I really don't think there's any good evidence for those theories at all. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover on this channel in the future. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.